Most people are familiar with the standard end times theories, but the actual historical math behind the 1335-day timeline in Daniel 12:12 is surprisingly grounded in documented history when you look at how ancient texts used the day for a year principle from Ezekiel 4:6. Here's the breakdown that caught my attention. The starting anchor 688-692 CE and Daniel 12:11. The countdown begins when the daily sacrifice is removed and the abomination that causes desolation is set up at the holy site. Historical and biblical chronologists usually trace this anchor point to the massive construction shifts on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem during the Umayyad Caliphate between 688 CE and 692 CE, which sealed off the ancient site under foreign dominion. Doing the math, if you take that documented historical anchor and run the prophetic day as year count, the 1209-year mark Daniel 12:11, 688 CE plus 1290 years equals 1978 CE, which famously coincided with massive structural pivots in Middle Eastern diplomacy and modern geopolitical alignments. The 1335-year mark Daniel 12:12, 688 to 692 CE plus 1335 years equals 2023 to 2028 window. Depending on whether you measure by strict solar years or lunar prophetic cycles, the 45-year transition gap between the 1290 mark and the 1335 mark lands squarely right around now, culminating right around late 2027 to late 2028. In Hebrew calendar tracking, that window also happens to line up directly with the end of the current SH Meta cycle 5788/2028. The question: I'm not big on hard date setting or do predicting historically. Dates come and go, and the world usually just keeps spinning. But purely as an alternative history/sacred calendar pattern, the mathematical convergence is pretty wild. Whether you view it as symbolic, historical synchronization, or just a really weird coincidence in the calendar mechanics, it's a fascinating overlap. Has anyone else tracked this specific 1335-year arc, or seen other historical anchors that line up with this window? Curious to hear what people who study ancient calendars or prophetic chronology think.